4, 3, 2, live.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
Ooh, I like that. I haven't seen the intro, so that's pretty cool. It's a nice little intro, and the music is very nice. So we'll do this.
Yeah, good music.
I liked it. It was very nice. All right, and so this is the first ad hoc show that we're doing. Yeah. Adam on the Eve is a guest. Thank you for joining, and we're going to discuss partly today what ad hoc actually means. You can see this show every Friday morning at 7 a.m. EST. And you can listen to it on podcast at 7 a.m. Friday morning EST all over the world. So it'll be a Friday morning show, which will start your weekend, which we're very excited about.
Wow, all over the world.
All over the world, yeah. And wherever you get your podcast, you can listen to this. This is from Spotify to Google to Apple to Amazon to everybody else that's on the planet. We are everywhere. So you can get it on a podcast if you don't want to look at our beautiful faces, or you can just come to YouTube and look at our beautiful faces. So.
Or hear our beautiful voices.
Our beautiful
voices. You're stuck with the voices, I think.
You're stuck with the voices.
Yeah, I hear voices too all the time.
Yeah, well, you just hear those in your head.
Yeah.
That is why. So Morten,
you're never alone. You're never alone if you're a schizophrenic. I was just thinking, ad hoc. What is ad hoc? It literally means, from the old times, for this. And in English, it describes anything that can be of existing for this purpose only. An example is that ad hoc, you can sit down an ad hoc committee, right, that are going, in politics. It would be great sometimes because it says here, I'm just reading, at the end of the case can be handed over without consideration of wider application.
Okay.
Decisions were made ad hoc.
Gotcha. Very cool.
So you don't have to really prove anything. There's also ad hoc networks. That's a big thing because if people are sticking their face into an office or something, the administrator will set up an ad hoc network.
Okay.
So ad hoc is also there. And the third one and the last one I'm going to I found a lot of ad hoc things, but that is the United Nations. They have courses and they are learning people what is ad hoc and why should I try it. They mean that learning by ad hoc is much better for small groups because you get to know each other better and stuff like that. It's a whole career thing. You can be you can also be an ad hoc what you call it, you can be an ad hoc faculty advisor,
right,
and so on. So it's
created for a purpose, something like that.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. Ad hoc. I was only thinking ad hoc is ad hoc. but
I think
No,
we all were
it's
thinking ad
Latin.
hoc
It
taught
means
us.
something. It always, those are symbolic.
Right, right, right.
yes, yes, yes.
It's kind of a solution for a purpose, I think.
Yeah, yeah. But and you don't have to explain why you come to the results, and that's kind of weird and
It doesn't come with an explanation, you mean?
No, you don't have to assess. The decision were made ad hoc is enough.
Like on the fly. Decisions were made kind of on the fly. That's kind of how I always look at ad hoc. It's kind of on the fly, not like, you know, we didn't sit there and have 50 hours of meetings. It was sort of like we had a quick meeting, boom, done. We go to the next.
No, it can be with a meeting, a long meeting or something, but it doesn't give explanations why they took the decision like that and what's the solution, because it's about the solution to a purpose. And yeah, but our minds always, you know, it's like, I don't know what we're going to talk about here, but I'll take politics. We like to talk politics. For example, anything that Putin says is ad hoc, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This,
Well,
this
like
is
Trump.
a solution to our problem.
It's just like Trump. Anything Trump says is ad hoc.
Yeah.
So everyone who is like authoritarian, kind of.
Yeah. Anybody who's
and
doesn't like being questioned.
And of course, as a politician, earlier politician, I wasn't much of a politician because I was not politically correct. But anyhow, you need to learn ad hoc if you have, you know, you're faced with another one asking you a question or have a you know, in a debate. You have to come up with a solution there and then ad hoc. You can't make it if you don't use ad hoc.
Right.
Yeah, you don't need to explain later. You base your theorem or everything that you say to the opponent based on something that you don't question. It's this. It's like a law of nature. Yeah. The politicians, they like to do that.
Yeah. But it's
I think that's how people just, their whole life is ad hoc if you think about it, right? Everybody makes a decision on a fly.
Yeah,
our lives are ad hoc in a way that we are using stuff that we cannot actually alter. We cannot change them. Like we cannot change the power of the natural powers, like forces, like gravity. We can't change it. We can't change electromagnetism. We can't change the fact that we are humans. I mean, we try. We try, and slowly we become machines, maybe with 10 hands or not legs, just wheels, or flying. I don't know what will happen later to us. It won't be us anymore. We, at least now, we cannot identify ourselves with those.
We're getting further and further away from us, for lack of a better term. If you start looking at all the technologies out there, from AI to robotics to everything that's coming down the pike, we're getting less human daily.
Yeah, this is the topic for our show next time, about identity.
I know. Yeah.
Identity is so important, and
it is,
and especially young people, but also older people, they're afraid of being themselves.
Yeah, but what does it mean?
That's scary.
We can start the topic from now, because one show is not enough. What does it mean to be you? I mean,
it's my identity, my DNA, my social roots, my grandfather, my grandfather. You know, we of course, I'm not myself by myself. It's the surroundings and the genes, in my opinion.
The identity, you mean?
Yeah.
I think this is partly the identity. This is the physical part of the identity. There's metaphysical also part, which actually is what we really mean when we say, "Oh, this is me." And when we say about that, we don't refer to our bloodline or even our hands or our body. We speak about our personalities.
Yeah.
We mean more of who we are as a personality, as a entity, as a psychological entity. But even those, because our psychological entity is constituted of what we have lived, right? Our experiences, our history, also DNA and everything that you said, because those are part of our identity for sure. But after all, there is no satisfactory answer to what we are, because also we are all the time under the flow of change.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 minutes ago, we were not the same. Okay, the change is not substantial. It's not very, it's not very obvious. But if something happened right now and we suddenly hear on our big fear on the telephone that, oh my God, the Russians have struck an airstrike with nuclear weapons there, then suddenly everything changes in what we are.
Of course.
Now, see, there are moments which are dramatic.
If that happens, will that kill the show, or will we still continue?
No, we will continue.
I don't want to think in those terms, because if it happens, well, it's definitely the last show.
Or Adam, if in the background a naked man or a woman came into your apartment, you would, of course, when we're alone, we are very different people all the time, right? Because we adjust to other people. So, and if something happens suddenly, I think that sometimes we're not ourselves at all.
Well, maybe we are ourselves there too, but we don't use it that often. I mean, there are some elements, properties in us that we use only in special occasions, like during a danger or a tough situation that we face. But it's still us. It's still us. So this is sometimes that people say, who said Socrates said, I don't know, know yourself.
Yeah.
And what it means, it know the things that are in you and you haven't noticed maybe, or haven't put in use, or something like that. And this is the spectacular in us, that we are objects with no end and beginning, actually, that we will surprise ourselves, even ourselves. I mean, that's why know yourself. So who is to know yourself? It's like dividing into two, object and subject. So who is the object and who is the subject?
You can be both, really.
Exactly. This is what our minds do. This is what the minds do. They actually create an image, a reflection of itself. And this is actually what the universe is doing with us, for example.
Playing with us.
Well, the universe is dynamic. It's always doing things. It's doing its stuff. It's a game. For it, it's a game. But it's creating us, we are kind of projections of it.
Yeah.
And we are kind of more interesting than a rock, because a rock is also a child of the universe.
Yeah.
Well, if the rock could speak, you say, well, speak for yourself. I will be here after you die.
I would say.
Yeah, he would say, I rock and roll, you just...
Yeah, but what you say about the universe playing games, that becomes, whatchamacallit, that becomes the Thursday hypothesis, which is every day is Thursday and you don't know the difference. Like this thing happens every whatever. Or we were talking about this yesterday in the car, quantum mathematics and quantum physics, about the particles don't really touch, and that your refrigerator isn't in the kitchen, but when you turn the light on, the particles come together to show you the refrigerator. So it's this projected image. So when you talk about the universe playing games with us, that's kind of the universe playing games with us. It's like the particles in theory don't touch, but because they're so dense and they're so close to each other, you have a table, you have clothing, you have this, you have that. So that would be the way the universe, I think, would play games with us.
Yeah, but we are the universe.
Yeah.
Well, we're part of the
You
universe.
are the universe. Although you are small, like me, like Morton, like everybody.
Oh, let's not get
But
carried
at the
away.
same time, you are very big. You are
Right.
very big. Actually, you are the whole.
Depends. In Key West, I wouldn't want to be called that, or San Francisco, but I totally understand what you mean. So, but
You are also
no,
this.
yeah, right. So that's a true statement. So all our friends there, I apologize. But no, it's yeah, I guess so. I mean, you're your own universe, but you're part of the collective, right? We always talk about, the Gateway Project that the CIA had, and the going back to the basics. So you go back to whatever the home is, the home base when you go, because it's all energy. So theoretically, if you believe that, then when you go back to the absolute, which is the beginning. So the absolute then is the universe.
If you go back to the beginning, then it was not the beginning, or it was.
No, I'm saying the beginning with the absolute is you go back when you die, your energy goes to the absolute and then comes back.
No, why not even now? You are in the absolute already. You never leave the absolute, even if you die. You cannot. We cannot escape it. Where will we go?
Scientists don't know what to do with their time apparently. So now they say we live in a matrix or a computer simulation, and I'm like, that's nice. But
look,
I don't
those are our theories from physicists, scientists,
who
are entering the field of philosophy. They are not philosophers. Because they have found a dead end in the theories. They cannot connect quantum mechanics with the theory of gravity.
Correct.
And they cannot explain the world. Actually, they explain the world partially, very partially.
I just read now. I just read now in I don't remember where, but it was in a newspaper somewhere that. The doctor union in Norway, or the associations, one of the members there has been looking on that we will rebirthing again. We will live again.
Reincarnation.
Yeah, and he is almost sure because and he uses a phrase I almost kill myself of laughing, because then the bastards will be, when they are living the second time, it will be consequences for all the time there were not consequences in this life.
Yeah, but you know what's the problem with this theory? Is that you come to this world, okay, and in fact there are some laws, but they are natural laws, like I said before, like gravity and stuff. And in this, there is no menu, there is no book to you, except from the Bible, of course, and what to do and not to do in this life, etc., etc. And it leaves you figuring out all the stuff that there is, and there is a lot of it, in different situations, because sometimes it's very easy to understand the good from the bad, but sometimes it's not. Yeah. Sometimes you kill somebody, I mean, maybe even an innocent one, for the sake of a bigger good
case.
Yeah, there are cases like that. So
but
sometimes it's more complicated.
That's the hypothesis. Now get into like time travel, where they say if you could go back in time and kill Hitler, would you? You know what I mean? So that goes back to that type of hypothesis. It's sort of like, so I can travel through time, would I get rid of Adolf Hitler? And then the question is, if you get rid of Hitler, then what would have happened? If there was no Hitler, where would we be today?
You wouldn't have the highways in America for sure.
Why not?
Well, that's true because
you stole.
If you read Mein Kampf, and I've said this many times on the air, it's 800 and some odd pages. The first 400 of the pages tells you how to do an infrastructure and how to run a country, and it makes a lot of sense. It's when you get to page like 401 or 450 and you turn the page, the next thing says, then you kill all the Jews. That's where I have a problem with what he wrote. But in the very beginning, when he talks about infrastructure and how a government should run and function, it's excellent. It's like he had, or whoever helped him had a clue. It's just everything past it. So to Morton's thing, would we have interstate? I don't know. What would we have? Would we be more technologically advanced? Less technologically advanced? I mean, so, that's the hypothesis that you're kind of going
But they did something good, because when they, I don't know if it became an evil thing or it was meant to be an evil thing from the start, but they did good things as well in Germany. They, Volkswagen cars for everyone who couldn't afford.
Work for everyone. Again, because Germany, after the First World, felt very humiliated.
Yeah.
So see, he gave what I say also in my show. He gave meaning to the people that lost the meaning.
Yeah.
The fluid compensation.
But then he got carried away, and so with the meaning, right? And that's the problem.
With the power.
Yeah. Well, he got, and then you stay. Okay, people felt dejected. They felt this. They felt that. So that's what's going on now here in America. And now we have the orange man who's giving people meaning. So the question now boils down to is America going to become 1930, 1940 Germany? If he gets reelected, because he wants to be
no. There are no. I think that people try to find similar, situation, etc. We are not in the same world. We're totally different world. Technologically, we are different. At that time, we couldn't destroy the world in minutes. Now we can do it. And in fact, we are we are at the edge of doing that. I mean, it's a very dangerous situation.
Yeah. We got the boy. You got the guy in North Korea, Missile Boy.
We have 4 minutes.
He can push. Right. He can push a button. You've got Mr. Putin who can push a button. If Trump becomes president,
there are many people who can. And later, with the advance of the AI,
Iran, Iraq. Yeah, but that's the problem, though. China. Once somebody pushes the button, everybody's going to push the button because they're going to be afraid that they're going to get hit, and instead of They want to destroy
if you push the button, you are 100% to be hit.
Even if you don't push the button, you're still going to get hit.
But let's prolong it.
Right.
Let's have no one push until the bad moment finally comes. Bad. Well, we feel it bad because the survival mode, the ego is saying that it's bad. Maybe it's a salvation. I don't know. It's not always bad dying, I think. When you're like very, very, very old and you cannot do anything and you have nobody, it's like suffering. I know. I mean, living. I don't know. My mind can create a situation in which I wouldn't like to live anymore.
And in last week's Economist, they had a whole section, can you live forever? It goes back 5,000 or 6,000 years about how people live to be whatever. It's very interesting, but it talks, can you live forever? Or do you want to live forever? So it's a very interesting
thing. Who wants to live forever?
I know, but I don't think people, when you talk about death, even when someone's 100 years old, I don't think they want to die. And here's the problem with death, other than it could be final, as Monty Python would say. Always look on the bright side of life, type of thing. But the problem with death is, and this is the great mystery of the universe, nobody can tell you what happens after. I mean, we all have a theory. We have a hypothesis, but no one can tell you. You get people that come back. Like I read an article about a kid that was 6 years old, and he was born in America and knew all about some seaman that died on a ship in World War II, and he was born in the 80s. At 6 years old, and they said he's the reincarnation of it. So you have these little cases, or a kid who speaks perfect English, and then one day all of a sudden speaks German. So I think there's something to it where the wires get crossed, or someone has a heart attack and all of a sudden they remember things from 10,000 years ago. So I think there's something, but because nobody can come back and tell you, I know 1,000% when you die, this is what happens. I don't care how sick you are, how old you are. There is still that what happens if you're wrong fear. So I think so. I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah. First of all, nobody came back, right? It's what you said. All those cases, because death is like black hole. When you enter, you can never come back.
If you look at Right, but if you look at the absolute, you theoretically go back to the absolute, and then you're reborn as whatever in the universe.
Yeah, but it's not you what you were then. You know?
It's not this. We won't come back and look like we look today. We come back and look like whatever we look like.
Not only look, it's also the personality different.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think, you know, reading all the Romans and the good Greeks in many thousand years ago, this life is for learning.
Yes.
And to be a better human being.
To be a better. But at least in life, I've seen many good people. I mean, better people than me. What does it mean better? I mean, caring more about the others, you know, for the common good and everything, like sacrificing their ego for the group. Don't have better fate in life than, I mean, there were a lot of good people who died in the Holocaust or are dying right now in the wars. So it doesn't associate with a better life. So it's either something higher dimension, or there is no. It's just an illusion, you know.
It's either it's going to be A or B, and
it always comes to A and B sometimes. You know, the same question I have when there are people are talking about when we talk about the absolute. In a way, we mean infinity.
Correct.
This is important because if there is infinity, that means that this moment does never end, in fact. And when even if it ends, it will come back again and come back again and come back again, because there is infinite time for it to rehappen, since it has already happened, because we know it's happening, right?
Correct.
So
like having a déjà vu, it's enormously, I really appreciate when I have a déjà vu. Because
why is that?
Yeah, because I'm certain that this has happened before. Somewhere else, but just what this gentleman is saying, or woman, or whatever, the whole situation, I've been there.
Yeah, but it's a feeling. You know,
It's a feeling.
Yeah, but a feeling and the actual happening of something is not the same thing. That means that a feeling that you have felt, like it's, first of all, it's familiar.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cases which are familiar. Well,
but
the feeling that I have lived this before is just that it's a familiar feeling. But it doesn't mean that it has happened before.
What happens if you have a dream, but the dream becomes a reality in 3 months? Like, I've had dreams, and I'm in that situation 3 months down the road. What's that? What do you make of that?
It's an omen.
Thanks.
Yeah, but when this happens, what else do you remember from the dreams? Your reactions or something?
I remember everything. Like, I literally was doing something.
So you knew what you would do. So when you're living it.
I lived it in the dream. 3 months later, I was in exactly that place, wearing exactly those clothes, exactly with those people.
So you knew the outcome of the situation. Why don't you hug it? Why don't you change it?
I know, because then I won money for the Super Bowl. No, it's just interesting because it was like, I've had that happen in the past where I've had a dream. 3 to 6 months later, I'm living it in this world, not in my dream world. And I'm like, that's fascinating to me. It's like, how does my mind know, like, I'm going to do that? And something that I don't know now. Like, I have a dream about something. I'm like, that's ridiculous. 3 to 6 months later, I'm like, oh, I'm here. How did I don't know how I got there. It's very cool.
Adam,
we don't know how we got here anyway.
No, we don't. But Adam, you were mentioning when we die, we go to a black hole and disappear.
No, it's like
what about ghosts?
What about them?
They don't. They don't entirely disappear. If you believe in ghosts, then it could be a.
If they be a replica. It's kind of leftover because it's not actually you, because you cannot touch you when we. Like, you see, we're coming again to the question of identity. What is you?
Yep.
Well, one of the things that I can say that it's me is that I can touch this, I can lift it, I can caress somebody, touch it, and I feel that I touch it. You know, I know that this guy exists. But with a ghost, if they exist, it doesn't happen like this. They are just like leftovers of something, of you, of what was you, in the terms of identity that you have.
It's energy, is what you're saying. It's kind of like energy that's just kind of left behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this energy is doing something. You know, we're talking about. Yeah, it's all energy anyway. But we are interested in what they're doing.
A ghost can move a cup of coffee, or you know.
Yeah, but not like this.
No,
they can do it with the mind.
Goes in the air. Yeah.
It's like the guy. Did you see the guy who has the implant from the Neuralink?
Right.
No.
And he was playing chess with the mind.
Okay.
Right.
Because we are already in a world where implants are, I mean, brain implants, not the other implants. I mean, I have implants in my teeth, but we're talking about hacking the mind, not just the vehicle of what carries. Yeah, that too.
That's rubbish. Rubber-ish.
That's petroleum jelly. Yes. But no. So if a ghost, what I don't or know about it would fill a matchbook. But I mean, a ghost, I think, is basically, from what I understand, is leftover energy or something that the spirit needs to accomplish before it can go to the next step.
Yeah.
That's what I understand it to be. And I know that people get pictures of them and this and that and whatever. So my always
but the thing is, sorry to interrupt you, but the thing is that it cannot be operative like you are. I mean, as it was. So if the spirit, it has some kind of leftover, something to do, but it cannot do because doesn't it know it? So does it come in vain?
It's on a cycle. It's a repetitive cycle.
Yeah.
It's in a circle.
Yeah.
It keeps doing the same thing. Like when people see a ghost, it does A through Z and goes back to A. So it's almost like a bad video game.
Yeah, circle of.
Circle.
It's more to me, if they exist, right? It's more to me that this spirit is not in peace. I mean, it doesn't rest in peace. Well, we say rest in peace. Well, this one does not rest in peace because there is something going on in the mind of this spirit that doesn't allow it to rest in peace.
Now, here's something I don't know, but let me throw this out. We talked about Hitler and the nice things that he did, of course. If you go to Auschwitz or Dachau and you're there, if you think about the 6 million people he killed, none of them, in theory, would be peaceful. So I would think that Auschwitz and the other camps would be the most haunted places on the earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what?
No.
Yeah, that's a good statement. But then we have to think a little something, because not everybody is seeing ghosts. Maybe there's a reason that not everybody is seeing ghosts. Maybe there's a connection between those spirits, and he wants something for. Maybe the ghost wants to be seen by you. I mean, but what are you right now? For a reason, we don't know the reason. The guy has to think about it, to work it out.
And it also can be for a higher meaning. Again, because it's
it's all about meaning anyway.
Yeah.
Even our lives here, that we're saying that, and we always sometimes we say, oh, this is meaningless, and we say this is not good. Actually, this is the spirit that we say, this is meaningless. You see how we put the words? If it doesn't have meaning, it's not good.
Right.
Because
Adam,
everything is based on
Adam, would you say that you have a character?
A character?
Yeah.
A character,
do you have one, or do you have several?
Well, I have one which might be composed by several. I don't know, but as a feeling, and we're talking, it feels like an entity.
Right.
It feels like an entity. And what David said before at the beginning, actually, he said something about the world that you're living your life, and it's like a universe inside yourself. But we're talking about that you are the universe, etc., etc. Yeah, but it's only from your point of view. That's why I say that the point of views are very important in the universe. It's important because from your point of view, you're small, you're just a small nothing, But for you, you're the whole universe. Without you, there wouldn't be a universe for you.
Right. You're correct.
And probably for everybody, because everybody is perceiving the world from their point of view.
Perspective.
Yeah. The orange man is also he's very small, really, because I think I read somewhere from one of the old thinkers that the more you think you're important, like the old kings and emperors and stuff like that, it goes to your head. Right. It goes to your head. I like that expression. And when it goes to your head, you will lose your head.
Mm-hmm.
He's almost 80 and very well there. I think he has no problem continuing the way. No, the problem with him and with everybody in a way, it's that for this universe, the universe is teaching us, like you, Morten, said, that we are here for taking lessons. And the first thing that the universe is teaching you is about balance. I mean, to exist, you cannot overdo with danger because you might get killed. You cannot overdo with many stuff because if you overdo, I mean, if you cross a line, you might be dead, you might be sick, you might kill others, you might, so you destabilize things. Right. So the universe to exist, it has to come to a balance. I mean, look at this planet. We're in a closed system. If you go up a little up, like the Elon Musk's are going up.
Car.
The atmosphere is a thing. It's not a very big. It's not. If you go, I don't know, 100 kilometers. It's not that long. You're outside in the space. Suddenly, you cannot live there anymore.
No.
Right.
So we are in a balance place for us to be created because we are a product of this Earth, of this planet, which has this system. And this already teaches you about the nature of balance. That for you to exist, you have to have this climate, you have to this specific conditions for life to flourish, etc., etc. Of course, we tend to make mistakes and say, climate change. Come on now. There were always bad weather and but it was always changing. Yeah, but whenever something changed rapidly, it was not good for the living beings that were there at the moment. Right. Like dinosaurs.
Like the Ice Age, when the Ice Age happened.
A very good example is my grandfather taught me that you can never be only happy. Nobody's.
Of course, it's part of the balance.
It's the balance. You have to go down the road to go up the road. Like the stock market and whatever.
Exactly. Stock market is also a pattern.
Yeah.
Everything is a pattern of something else that is behind the archetypes that there is of the universe. Even the universe's archetypes, which imposes to everything, and we are here to spot those patterns to see. Right. And as I said, balance is one of it. It's what you very nicely said. If you don't know what darkness is, you don't know what light is. You don't know anything.
Exactly. Wow, I like it. I like it.
It's very true. That's very profound.
But when we were when I had lessons of sketch of freehand drawing, they were putting us the Greek statues. There. It's a very good way to train yourself with sketching, the Greek ancient art, etc. So they were teaching us, and I said, "Look, don't look at this as a head. Look at it as compositions of dark and light, dark and light, dark and light all the time, and it creates a composition. So a lot of dark and light, creates a universe, creates a composition, something that has its own life in a way.
Yeah.
So,
and it's you can take it further away, like now in computers there is only two. There is 0 and 1. You know, it's light and dark, or also there. But tell me, why the fuck, I say now, did the Romans and the Greek, you know, with the lovely statues of especially men, why so small penises?
well, first of all, they are not erected penises, so we don't know.
Are you sure?
Maybe. Well, I haven't seen any Greek statue with erected penis. No. I have seen drawings like on the ceramics that they had. Nice, like you're right, panas, but not the men and the everyday people. Only panas, you know, the god of.
The god of big penises. Sure, you got to have one of those. Every culture.
And demon and etc. etc.
Yeah. No, but it's very interesting indeed. Stephen,
maybe they didn't measure, but to answer, maybe they didn't measure the greatness with the size of the penis. I don't know. Maybe they measured with the mind.
It's the size of the brain, baby.
Yeah,
the brain.
Say, well,
the bigger the brain, the better. That's
the smaller the penis.
That's right.
I think the penis theory came with Mercedes-Benz when they came or something. You know.
Well, I'm sure it came somewhere along the line. So
yeah, somewhere.
But I think the bigger the brain, the better, as we like to say. So
yeah.
Well, it's not the size, because I believe that, look, this tiny planet has created so much wonder, so much suffering also. And you look, suffering by default. It's not only that humans are doing bad things. Other animals are killing other animals to live. It was not their invention. The nature. And when you look, I sometimes look, you know, tiger, you know, chasing, you know, like an antelope, and you see this small antelope like a baby, because it's easier for him to get it, because it's faster. And you're feeling pity about the small animal, but this is the way it works. You have to accept it. I mean, the feeling that we can be created, it's opposed to the nature of the thing, but both are nature. So in one way, it's a contradiction. It's like the universe itself has a contradiction in itself. I mean, it created the balance, but the balance is created in kind of contradictions. And if you think about it, the coexistence of light and dark, it's kind of contradiction, because but on the other hand, you know, we tend to think about things like, oh, the opposite of life is death. No, death is part of life.
Right.
Life is existence, is living existence. The opposite of it is non-existent.
But to that point, people that are afraid to do things, they die 1,000 deaths. The people that go live their life only die one, and that is how you have to.
In a way, if you put if you ask the question, what's the definition of life? Oh, doing things, a lot of things. Well, not always. I mean,
no.
It's also a balance, doing things, but also understanding those things that you're doing. Do less things, but more. Conceptually closer to what you have in mind, like design that I wanted to do. Like I finished the artwork, you know, the big guy that I finished it today.
We'll show that next week.
It took me a long time. It took me more time than I thought, but I took my time. You know, I put a lot of thinking into it.
Right.
And the thinking is not always associated with what you will see there. And I don't know if there is energy in the artwork that. All the thinking that I did, because I'm not always thinking only about the artwork. I'm thinking about many things. I can think about the concepts that we are talking right now, doing the artwork, because sometimes they are mechanical. Today I did something mechanical. I'll put code on the to finalize it. I was not thinking too much, you know, about. So I had the ability to think about other things, like philosophical things when you do.
It's like winners and losers. There can be so many losers if you compare yourself with others. There's only one winner, and to participate in a competition it's almost impossible to win because it's only
some
one.
competitions.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but not the world competition. Let's say the Olympics.
It was an international. Oh, okay.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. But you don't win all the time. That you understand?
No, you're never always winner.
No, but if you win over yourself, that's I think that is the meaning.
But you see what you do now. You always you again separate yourself with you. So who is you?
Right.
And
I'm
we
different.
tend to do it. Look, no. It's totally normal that what you're doing. We do it all the time. The question is why we do it. Do we intrinsically have the separation of you, like something like sometimes we feel alienated inside ourselves. It's the thing that I say, that we in one way associate ourselves with our bodies, with our DNA, with everything that we have. On the other hand, we don't.
Right.
On the essence of what is you don't associate, because you don't want to believe that you are finite, that you're gonna die, disappear. What does it mean, disappear? I'm here right now. We are three guys talking right now. We can touch each other. We can see each other. We can see each other.
I'm touching you.
Yeah, we can. We cannot touch it, but I can touch the monitor and like a thing that I'm touching, like you. But if you were here, if I touch you, I know that you exist. But what the fuck means that there's a moment that you don't exist anymore?
That's true.
Yeah.
What does it mean? You see, we have a problem there because we are meaning. What does it mean? I was here. Right. I was here. He was here, and now he's not here. And the other fact is that your mind knows he will never be here again. Even more crazy.
Not the same character, not the same human being, but maybe as a turtle. You never know.
Or something. And with that, gentlemen, this will end the first show of Ad Hoc. So basically, what is death? What is the existence? I know some people walked into the room. So guys, thank you so much. Don't forget, everybody, you can subscribe and like to the channel. The show is every Friday morning, or as David likes to say, Hollywood Friday. You can get it either here on YouTube, or you can pick it up on the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Like and subscribe. Helps the channel out, and also leave comments if you want us to talk about something.
Yeah, comments.
What
do you want us and participate? Come on the show.
Well, we don't do the show. We don't do the show live. We can if you want, and then they can actually participate while we do it. If not, then they have to.
We do it live, but they don't see it live.
For your surprise, right. me and Adam is live now.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm recording. I'm just an AI.
Stephen has come from the past. He has come to change things.
And the future.
Stephen has come to kill Hitler, but he came in the wrong place.
I came to the wrong time.
Wow.
Like the story
and
of my
he doesn't
life.
know what to do to change it.
Get back. That's right.
You have to see behind you. He's pointing in that direction. The guy in the back of you.
So what he's doing, and it's right to do, he's trying to kill the children of Hitler, because the leftovers of Hitler, the ghost of Hitler.
God. And with that, gentlemen and ladies, we will see you all next week before Adam goes off for another 5 hours. We'll see everybody
big project,
next week.
Stephen, in front of you.
Yeah, we do. Cheers.
Bye-bye, guys.